Hi, hey, hello. If you're new here, my name is Rain. If you're not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you stopping on by to my little corner of the internet. And as promised in last week's video, this week's video is me going through my favorite art books that I own. And I did decide to bring some of my favorite educational art books into the mix. I was originally just going to do my inspiration ones. As per usual, I'm on the floor, so that means all of the cats want to be a problem. But if you like any of these art books, do let me know. And I'd love to know your guys' favorite art books. And if you have time to watch all the way through to the end of the video, that'd be rad. But I'm gonna be ranting a lot because I love these artists. I own a lot of art books, and I actually did make decisions so that you guys didn't have to sit here forever. So, first and foremost, I definitely think that Terada Katsuya's work is among my absolute favorite work to have haikus pulled up when I'm in an art slump. I love Terada Katsuya's work. No. Terada Katsuya. Sorry. I put a D in there somewhere. I love his work. I love these two art books in particular. I'm looking to try and find his other art books affordably somewhere. This one is let's start with the first one I got. This is the first one I got, and it's like my only book that has like a tab in it. But I love Terada's, or Katsuya's, I guess it would be respectful to go with the last name. I love his work. I shouldn't have started with the artist who does nudity, should I have? This is the type of work that I wish I had the confidence to create. Work that is just beautiful, cyberpunky, and alternate universe type. Mostly women. He does draw men. But I love Terada's work, right? It's among my absolute favorite, and it is like, it's just where I go for inspiration. When I want to be reinvigorated as an artist, this is where I go. And I have a lot of respect for the kind of just confidence in his work and the kind of way he presents it. I'm trying to find an example without spoiling the entire book for you guys. But I literally even have it written on a sticky note in the front. But I love that he just directly scans his sketchbook pages, perforations and all. Like, he doesn't even clean it up. It's just how careless he is almost with the presentation of his work that gives me confidence in myself. Because if he can present his work how he wants to and not in the way that would be quote unquote traditional, that means I can too, right? I've been, hi Fiskig. I've confronted a lot of issues in my art. Can you not trip my mic cord? Sorry, honey. It's okay. It was the cord, not you. I've confronted a lot of issues with people telling me that I don't present my work professionally and that my disagreement with certain presentation methods isn't good or it's unprofessional. And so seeing a professional just present it, I might not. I just have my mic or my camera lifted enough to show his other book that I have. But I just like this one mostly for the pop-ups. I think there isn't as much work in it because it is such big scale zoomed in versions of his work, but I do appreciate the pop-ups. It actually has writing in it, and I do really like how also like almost careless the spine is. I love that it's just the actual spine of the book printed on with the glue. I love this. It's very rustic, I guess. And it's definitely one of the few books where I like can't get rid of. Can you not do that right now, Chris? It's one of the few books where I'm like, I have to keep the jacket. I hate books with jackets usually, but I love Terada Katsuya's work and I highly recommend it. And I could talk about him for ages, so I will be moving on for the sake of you guys. Then, when it came to the other books, I actually chose two of them because of these two artists, or this art collection book and this artist. So Daisuke Richard I have different opinions on which one I like more, depending on like the type of art book reader you are. So this one has only the finished illustrations, and I love Daisuke's work. Hi Fiskeg, you're not helping. It's very different to my art style, and I think that's what makes me so appreciative of the book itself. Can you not? I don't create work like this. I don't have the confidence to create work like this, and that's something that I find is particularly one of my greatest sources of inspiration when looking at art. I want to look at art that isn't like mine so I can get ideas, so that I can be inspired to push my own boundaries. And so work like this, where it's just a completely different way of coloring, a different way of lining, all of that is very inspiring to me. Now, where these two books differ is this one does have more of the process in the book. It's not in English, you'd have to use a translator, but this is stuff that I personally love to see more than anything in my art books. I like seeing the process of creating the art more than I like seeing the finished piece. Seeing how different artists think, seeing how their brains work, how they go from start to finish is something that I find highly valuable. And it helps me to, one, rethink the way I process art and the information that I'm consuming, but it also helps me to understand that even like the worst parts of my own processes are probably okay, and they're probably not bad. Also, doodles like this, I mean, honestly, serve. But really, I do love the work. It's very different from mine, but it's super, super beautiful. And it's like, I don't want to say it's colored simplistically because there is just still a lot of important skill that I don't have in the way they color their work. Hi, Zogert. Z Zogert. Um, but it's definitely a lot more cell shady, I guess would be the word to put for that. I definitely don't cell shade my work. And so, I don't know. It's just very inspiring to me. I very much love this work. Highly recommend. I also highly recommend not standing on my book's bed. Okay. So, the same reasoning for why I like each of these books occurs with these two versions of Visions. Is this Visions 2022? This is Visions Edge. I don't know which Visions this is. But this Visions has step-by-step processes. Once again, not in English. Although apparently this is a creator interview. And, you know, Google Translate is pretty solid. But I also feel like this work is very, very different from my own. I very much do not do this kind of anime style art. Despite loving it, I don't do environmental art despite loving it. And so when it comes to these works, I just absolutely adore looking at it, and I find it deeply inspiring. Now, this one shows the process, which I very much value, but this one's a hell of a lot thicker. And it definitely has a lot more artists in it, a lot more art styles. It's easier to see and kind of find the artist that you're looking for, that you thoroughly enjoy from the work. And that's something I also really appreciate. It's a lot easier to hunt them down so that you can enjoy their work more on the internet, follow them, and support them in different ways. But absolutely, I love the variety of the work that comes in this one, which I think that there's a more consistent style in this Visions book, which has a really fun holographic cover. I think there's more consistency in the style, but you get so much more information from this one. As I was saying before people started screaming at me, I very much appreciate the formatting tips explaining which piece is which, the titles so I could find them if I wanted to. I don't know if all of these artists have prints, but I really like the convenience they have for making it so I can find all of the works if I wanted to buy prints, if the artist has them, finding the artist, all of that. I don't actually know what the QR codes do, because I never actually thought to use them, but I do greatly appreciate it. The work is absolutely stunning in both of these books. And once again, they have very drastically different styles from my own, and so I feel like it gives me a lot of inspiration to push myself to pursue something greater, right? Which is something that's very important to me. If this video feels even more disconjointed than other videos, I think I've been yelled at 4 times since sitting down on my floor. But if you're new here, maybe we haven't had this discussion. If you're not new here, I probably discussed how I love the macabre. I'm in macabre modernism right now. I've always loved the macabre. I love me some good spooky art. I love the dark art. I love Victorian. I love the Gothic. And so, with that, I'm going to have to say from the Sketching from the Imagination series, the dark arts book in particular is my favorite. Now, I think I own all of Sketching from the Imagination. I have been trying to buy them as they come out for years now. I love them. They bring me joy. And I think I mentioned this before I got yelled at and had to turn my video off again. I love anthology books. So this one in particular just has an absolute stunning. Fizgig is clearly enticed. This one just has an absolute excellent array of artists in it, and honestly, it's just remarkable. Like, I don't even have words. The work is just so beautiful and stunning. It's a wonderful anthology with a massive array of the macabre and the spooky, and so if that's your thing, this is seriously wonderful work. And this is a little bit more on the educational side for the books that I'm bringing in, but it's more so tips from the artist and not necessarily seeking to educate you. Like, that's not necessarily the objective, if that makes sense. And I feel like I keep missing them. But they all have artist pages where they talk about just things that are special to their art. And because I brought 2 in for the others, I did bring in the character concepts book. Now, I don't think this is my second favorite, but this is the one that pushes me a lot more because of the techniques and because of the like variety of styles that are even further from my own. It definitely has a lot more cartoony work in it like this, which challenges me to kind of think about how different artists approach style and form. So this one is more for encouragement. This one is more so for simping over violently. Yeah. And so I also do want to be a character concept artist. I want to work in design and I want to get to design characters. And so seeing professionals talk about their approach is something that I utilize to force myself to get better and improve myself. And so there are other character books. I think they have pictures of the books in the back. All the artists. Yeah. I'm thinking of their Sketching from Imagination characters. So this is the other one that I very much value for forcing myself to think about characters and character designs and to kind of find tidbits of advice that push me to think about what I need to learn. And can you not drip shower? Thank you. Matt? Thank you. And what I need to maybe improve upon to actually be successful in the field I want to go in. But really, all of them are wonderful. I do understand that the macabre might be a little bit on the questionable end for some people, but I backed Lord Gris's Kickstarter because I love her and I want her to adopt me. And this one's also definitely much more on the educational side. And I think that she has an entire section on her social media. Is my ring light making this hard to see? I think she has an entire area on her social media, the like reviews for stories where you can see a lot more of the stuff in this book. And so I encourage you to look at that and go support her and give her love instead of sitting here and watching some substantially smaller and much less impressive or interesting YouTubers simp over her. But seriously, her, and then I am saving up to buy Fiefel's art book because Fiefel could also adopt me. Like, I would not be mad if Fiefel adopt me, but I sing super, super high praises. Her work is absolutely beautiful. And she's one of the artists who very much made me believe that I can be an artist above all else, because she's one of the artists that I followed very early on in starting art before I ever taken an art class before, when I didn't know what to do. She's one of those artists who didn't go to art school, and she never like finished an art degree, and that's something that was particularly inspiring for me. You know, artists who don't go to art school and are as successful and create as stunning work as her are kind of that thing I needed at the time to say anyone can do this if they want to do it. You know, maybe not everyone has the skill set to be a business owner or to sell their art, but that doesn't mean that not everyone can make beautiful, remarkable art like Lord Gris does. So there's that. Now, I think Guweiz, have you guys learned that I can't pronounce anything? I think that Miss Wei's book, this one might have been in my last video from a long, long time ago. This is one of the art books I've owned the absolute longest, because this used to be what I wanted my art style to kind of be. Not necessarily an emulation of this, but I wanted it to approach this more kind of lineless feeling realism-ish. Not quite realism, but you know what I mean. Oh, sorry, the text glows in the dark, and I always forget that it has like a rough texture to it, and makes my OCD angry. It just sends my nerves on fire. But I wanted my work originally, when I hadn't found an art style yet, to be more of this. Wow, maybe bringing my ring light in here was a bad idea. To be more of this mindless style, right? I love the way she makes her work glow. I love the way she does lighting, shading, everything, rendering beautiful. And she also has just a lot of really good small tips here and there. So you are getting an educational value out of it, but these aren't books that you necessarily buy for the education, if that makes sense. I think what I'm defining as my educational art books will make more sense. But she provides really, truly awesome advice in here that also was really inspiring for me when I was younger, and still inspires me today. That just, I don't know. I think a sign of a good art book is when you open it frequently and you just indulge in it. And so these are like the books that I'm bringing to you guys. I also believe that this book also glows in the dark. And actually, I hate when things glow in the dark at night and I can't cover them, but like, I don't want to be paper forward. But yeah, that's more of a personal complaint. Once again, another really fun, shiny cover. A lot of these art books have really, really nice covers. Who's this published by? It's not 3D Total Publishing, of course. 3D Total Publishing makes really, really high quality art books. Eliza. Eliza is just gorgeous. Love it. Seriously. Absolutely gorgeous work. And I love that she has a, can I find, I love the sound of paper just fumbling. Yeah, I love that she, where is it? Has an entire section on life drawings and gestures, because I feel like they're so, like, theoretically speaking, unappealing. Like, who wants to look at gesture drawings? And so seeing how beautiful a gesture drawing can be is really, really nice. she has some gorgeous gestures. She makes me want to do more gestures, which would be great for my art, by the way. Doing gestures and like that, getting better at anatomy, great for you. Highly recommend. And her art style is definitely very different to a lot of the other art styles that my pure one artist art books are. And so this one also brings me a lot of insight for a more traditional pencil kind of focused artist. She does a lot of really, really nice pencil drawing, or at least work that looks like graphite. And so with that, I think it kind of brings back to kind of the mediums I like to work with a lot more, while also not actually being at all like the work I authentically create, right? I don't make anything this stunning, right? But it is a medium that's a lot more accessible to people. It is a medium that people can practice with for a long time and get this good and get this great at these gestural qualities, right? And once again, as always, beautiful, beautiful advice. I love advice. I love how ready artists are to tell people the little tidbits that made these artists good without trying to shill it to you for a dickload of money, you know? I feel like the art space is a space where there are a lot less of those super expensive, like scammy digital courses, you know what I mean? Okay, we've made it to the educational section. And yes, Taka's art book has come back. So these are books that are kind of deliberately trying to teach you something or set out to give you particular information that I highly recommend. Now, if you want to listen to me rant about Taka's art book, I will have the previous art book video from like the first month of my channel in the card up above. And then I think I have a short ranting about how much I love this book and like I think it's like my top 5 back then. So really honestly just excellent anatomy book. Breaks it down wonderfully. Just chef's kiss. Absolutely divine. And I do have the thicker version as well. Then I also believe creating stylized characters has remained in my top 5 since that video. 3D publishing. But truly absolutely remarkable information about, I love the word remarkable, about color, composition, how to lay out color, choosing colors, values, posing, breaking down shapes, choosing fun shapes, everything you need to know. Character, expression, defining characters. One of my favorite character design books I own. I wrote it on a sticky note and put it in the book. I don't even trust myself to remember my favorite books, but seriously, stylized characters, nope, stylized figures, gestures, poses, facial expressions, color theory, the process of stylizing, and then there's some character portraits that break down those artists' like processes. Breakdown gallery, the artists are on page 260, so you could see just all of the wonderful, wonderful artists who participated in this book. And ooh, I think I have this book. Oh, do I not? No, I have the beginner's guide to procreate characters, which is also a wonderful book, but I had to make decisions and I think I like this one more. But I've also been really, really, really interested in buying these 2 books. One day I will, and I will let you know if this gets into the roster because I draw a lot of faces. But seriously, this is an excellent book. If you use Procreate, which is what I use, I actually very, very much enjoy these. I use this book to teach myself how to use Procreate, and I don't necessarily think that the like gimmick of this being character design in Procreate is necessary, but it does give some really, really valuable information on the tools in Procreate. Nothing you, of course, can't find online. Thank you for running by Fizbig. You can find almost all of this information online when it comes to educational books. I happen to just be someone who very much likes having the physical copy. This actually gets to go back on the shelf. It does not have to go to a different room. And then these are books I bought when I was teaching myself to draw before I even started going to college. These are both bought used, which is why this one has this weird mark on it. I buy most of my books used. And I tried to buy the super good quality ones. I don't mind if people write notes in them. I just kind of mind if like they smell bad, which is something I'm always scared about. So does that make interruption number 6 at this point? I don't even know. I don't remember what I was saying, and I do not have to cut out whatever I was saying later. But yeah, I try to buy like new, excellent, and the like pretty good quality. But these are how I taught myself how to draw, basically. Besides watching YouTube videos online, these books were kind of how I made decisions on approaching breaking down information. And honestly, I still have so much I can learn from these books because damn, that's a nice butt. Got so distracted by a butt. Wow. Yeah, sorry, got really distracted. Some beautiful art. Beautiful art. This is how I taught myself a lot of the basics, though, and forced myself to apply it, right? And I'm probably just going to keep getting interrupted. I don't know if I mentioned it when I said that I promised I'd make I promised I'd make this video because my computer has to be shipped in for repair, so I don't have a lot of time this week. But yeah, so it's just kind of, I don't have another time I can film this when people aren't here like I usually do. But this is how I taught myself most of what I know about color. Now, the anatomy section is great. I do like Taco's anatomy better. Ultimately, I think the thing that was the most beneficial for me learning anatomy was, this is really good for emotions. I think has been the most beneficial for me in learning anatomy was just doing gesture drawings. So I think gesture drawings and practicing different body parts and trying to get their proportions one by one accurate and then applying it to the whole body is what did me the best. Though every time I can get important information like this, when I was a beginner, was very important to me. And honestly, I still need it. I'm still bad at anatomy despite it being my favorite. And then I think that this might be my most recent educational art book purchase. I think I love this book. It has some artists I truly love, like I need you to put your name here, Maiko. I can never remember her name. I'm sorry. I feel so mean. But seriously, there are some really, really lovely artists in here. Can I get the whole list, please? I want to just give out the names. Yep, Maiko, Carls, and Lord Gris are all artists I followed before getting this book, and then these two artists, absolutely wonderful. I ended up really loving the work they make and following them after getting to see it. So seriously, the anime styled art, well, definitely not my league per se. Remarkable information, very, very valuable for learning, and it does talk a lot more about how to kind of market your art. And it talks a lot more about those kind of difficult things you need to do, such as kind of learning how to present yourself appropriately, how to sell your art, how to make products, how to kind of approach these things that I think are the reason most artists have a hard time being successful. I think the thing that really holds a lot of artists back is the fact that we don't know how to actually do the business part of art. Saying that as somebody who plans to be an art professor because they're scared and don't know how to do the business part of art and is scared to rely on it fully, I can't really say much. I'm definitely like calling myself out there, but you know, I do think it is one of the like hardest parts is like how do we put ourselves out there the way that we need to be successful. Also, totally forgot to mention The Art of House Moving Castle is a really good book, and if you like comics, I definitely recommend The Loving Reaper. Definitely check out the comics on Jenny Jinya's page first, because as like cutesy as the art style is, holy hell did this book make me cry. Like, I'm a huge animal person, obviously. I think you've seen 5 different cats walk by. Wow. I am not emotionally stable to read this often, or enjoy it often even. Sorry for punching you guys right there, by the way. But seriously, yeah, definitely wanted to recommend that without going into it, because it is a book that makes me cry, so it's hard to put it in. Very well done. She does wonderful advocacy with her books. So I think that I finally like successfully sat down and like filmed a portion without being interrupted. Wow. So for sure, I I'm I love art. Okay, I don't know if it's obvious, but I love art. I have an entire YouTube channel about making art because I love art, right? And my passion for art started with other people's art. And so collecting books, I am a reader, I promise, but collecting books that show me the art of people that I admire is something that very much pushes me forward in my art, because I want to be as good as these people one day, and I want to be in a position in my life where I could make art worthy of going into these types of books, these anthologies that inspire people like me. I want to be the artist that other people look up to one day, and it definitely doesn't start with having my mic cord in frame and wearing my cat pajamas. But I want to be like these artists one day, where I inspire people and I am something that people obsessively flip through the way I obsessively flip through. Wow, I'm really good at opening up to page 191 in this book, the way that I go through these, right? And it's something that's really important to me. So if you like any of these books, let me know. And I hope I inspired somebody by talking about books for too long. Don't have an addiction to buying art books. They are expensive. Buy them used if you can. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your. Nope, I didn't finish my outro. Let's backtrack that. I'm not doing voiceover, so it's harder to edit because it's like in sync, right? But like if you like, dislike if you dislike, comment if you're interested. If you're interested in subscribing, that would also be cool. I actually make art on my channel. I know, wild. I just talked about books for 30 minutes, but I do make art. I am an artist, a baby artist, kind of. I'm new to being an artist, I think. I started my channel back in June. Not sure if I'm actually an artist yet, but I'm calling myself one. And I love the art I make, and I love what I do, and I love inspiring and getting to talk to you guys. So check out my art if you're interested. I actually have links down below if you don't actually want to watch my videos. I have a website where you can view my work, some of my work. I haven't updated it super recently. And then it links to my social media where you can see my unhinged story posts and my cats. And then I have a Redbubble, which is probably where you can find most of my work. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Probably Instagram. I post different stuff differently in different orders, so I actually don't think some of my work is on Instagram yet. It's scheduled, you know what I mean? That's all an aside. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, wherever you are, and I really appreciate you sitting through this video. So, bye-bye.